This is gonna be juicy. Like first date, I was like, we're gonna get married, but like one of the things about doing this dating show, the 10 dates in 10 days. Hey everybody, welcome back to my channel. Hope you're having a great day, a great night. Today, you probably saw from the title, I'm gonna be talking about going on what I've learned from going on 85 first dates. That seems crazy, and I'm gonna do first a little background of why there were so many dates, and really what I've learned, because I've learned a whole lot, as you can guess from doing that many. But before we get in this video, please go down and click the subscribe button. If you have not already, I have fun videos coming out twice a week. They're great. Give this video a thumbs up and let me know your favorite date that you've ever gone on. Okay, let's get into the video. Okay, time to get into serious talk. Just kidding. Well, it is pretty serious, so I guess I'm not kidding. Oh, that's not it. So 85, I got an 85 first date. And the reason I know this, okay, this is not me being petty in any sort. I had realized I had some funny date stories that I'd forgotten about, and I just started making like a list of all of them long time ago, like years and years ago, when I didn't even have that many dates. And then it like was counting it because I was like putting it on my phone, and I now know the number. So that was mostly it. I had just forgotten some like funny dates I had had, and then wanted to keep a list of them. So I know every single date I went on and who I went with. Well, I think there was a few I couldn't remember their names really. They're like blind dates, so I couldn't remember. But anyways, a little bit of like on my dating history. All through high school, it was all just dating friends, friendly, and it wasn't until after I graduated that I was trying to be more serious. I actually really, from the point of graduating high school on, I was trying to be very intentional. My goal's always been, I really just wanted to be a wife and a mom, and that was my dating style. I never really what is going on? Never really wanted to date casually, and so I always kept that in mind. It wasn't, it was just like, okay, I'm not just dating around. I don't just want a boyfriend to have fun, but I'm really trying to be intentional. I want to date them for the long term. So I really just went on a lot of first dates. Well, they were very, very spaced out. The most, like the first 40 were from when I was 16 to when I was 22, and then the last 40 was when I was 22 to now I'm 24. And so I've gone in a lot, and a lot of that kind of sped up. I had started doing a lot more like online dating, and I really wanted to just get like, I was like, at least if I'm not going like, nothing's happening, I'm getting experience, and so I wanted to learn. So I ended up going like, doing online dating, and was going on like 3 to 4 dates a week. Very stressful, caused a lot of anxiety from that, but I did learn a lot in like what I was looking for. So, number one thing that I learned from doing this, well, what I've learned from dating is being picky but also flexible. Is a lot of my dating history is I was very open to dating like any guy that asked me on a date or was any interested, because I was like, well, maybe they're the one and I want to give them the chance. And so I dated like about every type, like every kind of guy out there. But like that seems great, but it's kind of hard because they're like great guys, but they don't always match like personality wise or likes. And so that was, I think, part of the reason why it was so hard. I've gone on so many dates is like I was just not like zoning in on really what I wanted, and so I was trying to be nice and polite, and I didn't realize that like that was a thing. But I think you need to be picky to a point, because if not, you're gonna be dating all these other types and they're not gonna work out, and it's kind of wasting some of your time, you know. But also being flexible, because sometimes guys you don't think are gonna be the one or be your type you can be very, very surprised. So kind of play that by ear of all that. So I know that kind of seems contradicting, but I think give guys a try. But kind of you start to learn what your type is and not feel like every single guy you need to give a chance, because you can kind of start to tell just like, hey, like they're great, like we could be friends, but personality wise, like I know long term it won't happen. And also with these like that, so you guys know I just did that dating show, the 10 dates in 10 days. Oh, so like even though I've gone on 85 first dates, I wish I had gone on one date and found the one. But like I've learned a lot from all these, and I know like all this stuff now. But I don't rub this number in to say I went on all these dates. It's really me just being like, I'm done with dating, and maybe I can give you some advice so you don't need to go on as many and learn from all of them. Like one of the things about doing this dating show, the 10 dates in 10 days that you guys saw, one of the reasons I almost thought not doing it, because I'm like, I'll be up to 85 and I don't want 85 first dates. Like, I don't want those numbers, but yet it happened, so can't change it now. So one great thing I love about going on these dates is really learning what my type was, what I was interested in, like yes and no's in relationships. And this is not to say that you can't. My parents, I mean like my mom, her first date ever was with my dad. They ended up getting married like really soon after, and it worked out. So I'm not saying you can't, but one of the benefits of going on a lot of dates was I have gone through so many different experiences, so many different kind of types and personalities and all these different things, and it's really helped me to zone in of like what I'm looking for and what works best for me. But also if you can find that on the first person, like go for it. I think it's amazing. I go for it. But that was something I really learned and like works best is I need someone like humorous and fun and loving, but there also has to be that balance because sometimes it's like too much, and just like finding what works best for you is one thing that's very hard to learn. Is you start to find guys, I found guys that I really liked and want to start going down there, and then things did not happen, and it was very hard to distinguish, like separate those feelings, because I was like, I fit great, like everything's on my side, like why is it not going anywhere? And sometimes you have to realize like it's hard when the other person doesn't feel that way. But I try to look at those situations and say, why did I like that? And try to look at that for a future relationship. I still remember I went on this date and this guy had pulled out my personality so well, and things never happened with that. But I realized that's what I want, is I want to find someone who does that same thing to me, but with some different qualities. So that's the other thing, is finding someone who brings out the best in you, and you don't need to feel like you need to hide yourself. Sometimes there takes time to like open up, and that's okay, but you want to find someone who makes you genuinely happy and just pulls out the best side of your personality. Another thing is I was able to, through this whole process, is I was very observant on like looking at other people's relationships, like what worked, what doesn't work. And so when I was dating too, I could look at these other personalities and be like, okay, that's not gonna work, that's not something like I'm looking for in a trend. And so I was able to pinpoint that really early on, before, like sometimes before the first date, sometimes on the first date or the second date, and realize, okay, this is not gonna work, this is a trend, or this is a personality trait that won't work with me, or sometimes could be like abusive or toxic, and learning those. And if you guys want me to, I can do a whole video on like toxic signs to avoid. I've learned them from my own relationships, but I've also learned them from observing like other people's relationships and divorces and other things. I've been very mindful of that, because for me it's like, I think that's the biggest fear of like so many people, is not wanting to have a divorce. And so I really try to learn from other people on that. Another thing I really I did, and I learned through this process, is there is so many toxic and like abusive situations, and finding those people around you that know you and you can trust, and that won't judge the whole situation, but will look at you. Because I think one is, when you start getting a toxic and abusive relationship, is people around you can usually notice, and to have those conversations saying, hey, if you see this in me, even if I'm just like I'm very stubborn, and so I've had this conversation is saying, hey, if you see me not be myself, if I'm like, my personality changes because I'm really down, and you see this, like, let me know. And that's helped me get out of like situations that could have gone way worse, and help me like recover a lot faster. So have that conversation, and then know for yourself that if someone's telling you that, your first instinct say no, it's not a problem. And you might say that in the moment, but really think you've had this with them before, you trust them, and so if they ever say that to you when you're dating someone, then you'll be able to learn from that. Then you can like see that, and then you can reevaluate your relationship. I've also noticed like guys, how they treat me. You can see really quick of guys who just want to play around, are just there for the physical aspect, just want to kiss and make out and do all that, between the guys that really want to know you and like long term is the respect they give you and like the conversations you can have. And I can do that in another video too. I think that's a whole long other subject. But I started to realize that guys that generally like you, there's a different look they'll give you, a different reaction than the guys that just want to play around. And so to find that is like very, very big. And once you kind of see it and you can find it, you see, like, you observe like how guys look in other relationships if they generally like the girl, and then you kind of know, oh, they're doing that for me too, and it's something that's really easy to notice and help and grow from. Another thing I've learned is guys that really like you, they're going to put aside that time. They're going to want to go on those dates. They're not going to try to avoid it. You also want to be with them too during that, and so it's really important as you're going through all that. It's like on the first date, if they seem very distracted on their phone, they're trying to give you a hint that they're not interested. And if they ask you on another date, then that's a very big red flag and you should avoid that. They're talking to other girls and they're not very, very serious, so that's a no. Like, honestly, overall, these dates have really helped me grow to be a better person, to know myself, know my value, to know what I want in my life. Honestly, I wish I didn't have to go on 85 first dates. It was it was hard, it was emotional, like you start to go on all these dates and think, is anything gonna happen? But I've learned so much about myself in every single date and what I really, really wanted, and I feel like I can also help other people. So if I could go back, I would probably still go on all those dates, as much as I would hate to do that, but I'm a better person because of like going on all these experiences. So 85 first dates. I can tell you guys stories. If you guys want stories, I've done different story times. I'll try to do those in the cards throughout this video as well. But those are just a few of the things that I can think of at the moment. I know there are plenty. 85 first dates, I can do a whole bunch. But that's some of the lessons I learned. If it was helpful, let me know below. Also, let me know the craziest date that you went on. In one word. Describe the craziest date you've been on in one word down below. And as always, give this video a thumbs up. Also, go click that little button down below to subscribe if you're new, so you don't miss out on any fun new content that I put out. But I'll see you guys next time in my next video. Hope you have a great day, a great night. Bye. Love you.